police and traffic officers end festive season operations. Call for government to partner with churches in development. And Brisbane Broncos winger explains his move to England.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Police in Port Moresby have concluded their joint festive operations with road safety officers and the Department of Transport today. The joint operation conducted in the city over the last 2 weeks was focused on minimizing unregistered vehicles on the roads and preventing alcohol-related crimes. NCD and Central Police Divisional Commander Sylvester Kalaut says overall the operations went smoothly.
The operations that involved over 450 police and safety officers concluded this afternoon. The operations involved all units under the NCD command, including dog unit and the mobile squad. Internal and Border Crimes Commissioner Chief Inspector Donald Yambasombi said New Year operations in his command was generally quiet. The Border Command includes West and East Sepik, Gulf and Western provinces. Mr. Yambasombi said the provincial police commanders in the 4 provinces patrolled to outermost police stations and revealed positive reports of the festivity. The only major incident was the recent road accident in Wewak. A full report on border operations will be submitted to Police Commissioner Gary Baki on Monday. In Port Moresby, about 4 road accidents were reported. The major one occurred on Christmas Eve along the Maggie Highway in Central, where 8 people were hospitalized after a vehicle traveling from Port Moresby towards Kwikila crashed into the 8. Zakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
An Australian gold buyer was held at gunpoint in Buka with some of his personal items stolen. Police in Buka have reported the armed robbery occurred on New Year's Eve at the Hutsena government station. Police already have identified the prime suspect, with investigations still continuing. Meanwhile, reports received from police stations revealed a quiet and peaceful New Year celebration throughout the autonomous region of Bougainville with no major casualties reported. Meanwhile, vehicle drivers in the autonomous region of Bougainville have been warned not to drink and drive. North Bougainville Police Commander Inspector Spencer Eiley says passengers' lives are in drivers' hands and the simple laws should be followed daily and not only during the festive season. Meanwhile, ABG Police Minister Willie Masiu has called on the public to follow the laws and maintain peace and harmony within the autonomous region in 2016. Fishermen Islanders have ended the festive season on a peaceful note. Siligo Clan Chairman Gia Iga says the 2-week celebration reported no major cases of deaths, injuries or crime. Siligo Clan was the host in the festive season celebrations for Fisherman Island.
The clans of Fisherman Island were brought together by the Festives under the United Church Circuit. Siligo Clan, who played host, raised over 100,000 kina. It was a fun-filled event that united the entire village. On the final day, Siligo Clan presented gifts ranging from food to household items. The event ended with a village feast. Clan Chairman Gia Iga said the 2 weeks program was fun and peaceful.
We had one of the best celebrations on Fisherman Island, trouble-free and no hiccups. We only had the nature coming in to disturb us, but we are excited. All our programs have gone through.
Marilyn Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
The restoration of water supply to the Laloke Psychiatric Hospital is underway. Communities at Laloke Bridge are working closely with the hospital staff and police to stop illegal water connections and allow normal water services to the area. Melisi Goviro with this story.
The community members were very cooperative. They said they were unaware of the effects their connections had on the hospital's supply of water and were happy to fix the problem. They were concerned that when the pipes were closed, it would be difficult for them to find water. They were assured by the hospital staff that the sooner the connections were closed, the sooner the communal taps could be established.
It's essential to human life na imi ograman. So oli ga disla belt was a mari stab lol man na oli misemi go ina pro now disla 16 player finish na all taking disla action where time mi stab was controller mi pla walk boom and police walk boom and community.
For subsistence farmers like Jimmy Tura, it was essential because he needed water to tend his garden.
Some people working farm, people planting cabbage, people needing water him continuously, keep him livelihood living.
The hospital staff are working around the clock to complete the project before the new year commences.
At the moment, we will have legally we will have these pipes connected. We will have all our pipes tapped. All uncontrolled water will be controlled. Then we will ask the Iranian people to come and install their meters.
Melissa Goviro, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Among stories after the break, a call to consider churches as partners in development and schools in Alotau district receive funding. That and more after the break. Welcome back to the news. The national government must consider churches as partners in development. This is the call from the Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and the Solomon Islands. Fabian Hakalitz reports.
Catholic Bishops' Conference General Secretary Father Victor Roch, also speaking on behalf of the PNG Churches Council, told EMTV News that over the last years there has been lack of consultation. This is because the government has overlooked churches in the decision making.
So that they can play a better role and a better constructive role that in the development of the country.
Churches have been at the forefront of development in Papua New Guinea, even before and after Waigani.
Number one mission where I come up here along West Libertine. So Bitokara me producing plenty of good something, housing, school, na church one time.
And therefore important issues affecting societies are addressed in a more collective approach through partnership.
Issues like law and order, development, spiritual, moral, these are very important things, and it is good that we take the church leaders into consultation. I am sure these people will be able to help the government in the development. The churches are the face of the development there in those areas.
Meanwhile, Father Victor has appealed to the national government to ensure it fulfills its promise by releasing funds in areas of education and health.
Do not want that the government considers the churches only as people who are receiving funds for development. No, it is good you go one step higher and have them as partners in consultation.
Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
2016 must be a year of repentance and forgiveness for Papua New Guinea. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands has extended an invitation to all citizens of this country in one heart to pray for the conversion of sins. Again, Fabian Hakalitz reports.
Pope Francis has declared 2016 as the year of mercy, and we are all asked to open our hearts and forgive others, and to work against social exclusion, even of those that may have caused bother or upset, a sign of true conversion of our heart. In his letter, therefore, as the holy door remains open, because it is the sign of welcoming God himself reserves for us, so also our doors, those of the heart, must always be open, not to exclude anyone. And this year, Papua New Guineans must focus on the boundless nature of God's mercy. Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands, General Secretary Father Victor Roch says,
2016 is the year of mercy. Pope Francis has declared as the year of mercy, and it's not only, I would say, not only for the Catholics, but also for the whole humankind, because he is called the Pope of Mercy, Pope of Compassion.
Father Victor said that the Church must become the living sign of God's love and mercy, with the Pontiff's call of mercy and forgiveness to be realized in daily life. It's the concrete sign of faith that has transformed our hearts and allows us to express in ourselves the same life of God.
Now, at this time, we have to specially think of the downtrodden, the marginalized, the poor, and the needy. In our own families, in our own communities, if there are some people who need our mercy, please show your compassion and mercy in a special way today.
Father Victor called on all Papua New Guineans to be united for change. Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
Lower and upper primary schools in Alatau District, Milne Bay Province continue to be funded under the district's education program. Alatau MP Charles Abel says the increasing number of schools is a challenge, but slowly enough funding will see schools being developed. Mr. Abel visited schools recently to present funding.
Primary and elementary schools in Alatau District will start the 2016 academic year on a positive note after receiving funding to develop the learning institutions. In one of his recent visits to the Suau local level government, Alatau MP Charles Abel says the district will continue to fund schools so schools provide quality education to students. Koko Elementary School received its 20,000 kina towards the building of more classroom infrastructures.
Put the vocational school, complete the jetty program, build up all the elementaries and the primary schools. That's what we are crying for.
In Eastern Suau, Eloilo Primary School continues to use its funds to build classrooms and a new library. The 2015 funding of another 50,000 kina will see the purchase of reading materials for the library.
So we are hoping to have some books for the library.
Sibala Primary and Savaya Elementary also received their share of funding. Apart from the education sector, Suau LLG President Ricky Morris highlighted to public servants in the LLG the new role and powers of the District Development Authority.
We have powers to deal with teachers or public servants.
Most school administrations say much of the funding will go towards refurbishment of buildings and teachers' material. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Turning overseas, and maternity wards in China are expected to be busy again because of the new two-child policy. Each couple are now allowed to have 2 children, as CNN reports.
The one-child policy was extremely unpopular among many everyday Chinese. The system led to a bureaucracy employing hundreds of thousands to enforce the law. Couples were forced to pay heavy fines for having a second child, but many could not afford it. So forced abortions and sterilizations became a regular occurrence, according to many human rights groups. Advocates for changing the law have said curbing China's population growth has been unnecessary for many years, and now China faces a rapidly aging population, a shrinking workforce, and many more boys than girls. Simply put, there aren't enough young people to take care of the old. It is unclear if this will be enough to offset China's aging population, but officials know that something has to be done. The government says its population could be the oldest in the world within the next 15 years, with more than 400 million people older than age 60. With the one-child policy ending, the government is hoping that maternity wards like this one are busier than ever before.
Back home, and the 209 million kina Basay Oil Palm Phase 2 project is expected to be officially launched soon. This is the 3rd oil palm project, and good news for the people of Ambunti Drekikir and Wasaragawi districts in East Sepik Province.
Through the land-owner company Green Gold Valley Limited, the Basay oil palm was endorsed by the Agriculture and Livestock Department. This project was funded through a partnership program. The national government, East Sepik Provincial Government, and the Wasaragawi District Development Authority. The project was endorsed by the current ruling government and the opposition. Opposition leader Don Poli said that the growing world population will increase demand for food in the coming years, and PNG is poised to benefit significantly if necessary steps are taken to prepare in advance. Basay oil palm is diversified into a clean development mechanism that will convert waste from the oil palm into various useful products of commercial value. Basay Oil Palm Chairman Brian Casley-Tapi said 357 ILGs have already registered and more expected to join. Agriculture Departmental Head Dr. Pat Ilaava is expected to attend the ceremony on a date soon to be announced, together with other national, provincial and district officials. Fabian Hakalitz, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. We'll be back with the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The unexpected move by Brisbane Broncos winger Daniel Vido has raised a lot of questions as to why exactly the 25-year-old signed with English Super League club Salford Red Devils. Vido has clarified he left the grand finalist team to support his family.
Samoan-born Daniel Vido has explained his move to the Salford Red Devils was due to the fact he wants to support his family. After 7 years in the NRL, Vido decided to take the good money on offer in order for him to provide for his mother, stepfather and 4 siblings, one of whom has been diagnosed with autism. Vido, who grew up poor, says he has used this experience as fuel for motivation to better himself as a sportsman and a person in general.
Kicking for Sean Kenny down.
The massive winger, who has played 23 games for the Broncos, said the move to Salford was entirely a family-based decision and his only goal was to support them. The influential 25-year-old will endure Salford's upgrading with Jason Carney, Mark Flanagan, Robert Louis and Bern Murdoch-Masila, who have already been recruited. Jaylee Sapies, National MTV Sports.
To football, and England's Football Association chairman Greg Dyke has saluted the efforts of England manager Roy Hodgson's 40-year managerial career, saying that the coach is a great example to any aspiring coach that being open to new experiences and cultures can really develop a person. Hodgson is in his 4th year as England manager, having previously had stints in Italy, Switzerland, Finland, Denmark, Norway and United Arab Emirates. The 68-year-old is now plotting his campaign for the European Championship finals in France in June, having overseen a 100% winning record in 10 qualifying matches. England have been drawn in European Championship Group B, along with Wales, Russia and Slovakia. Queensland PNG Rugby League is growing interest among the Pacific Islands Rugby League community. Their aim is to provide a pathway for young men and women residing in Queensland with Papua New Guinean heritage an opportunity to participate in the Rugby League football. Elijah Lovett with more.
The interest grew within the rugby league community consisting of New Zealand Maori, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga and Papua New Guinea. All were looking to develop their teams combined in friendly challenges with teams formed from members with bloodline ties within the respective residential island state community in Queensland. Rugby League has and will continue to be the number
after Waigani.
Number 1 mission where I come up here along West Libertine. So Bitokara me producing plenty of good plus something, housing, school, not church one time.
And therefore important issues affecting societies are addressed in a more collective approach through partnership.
Issues like law and order, development, spiritual, moral, these are very important things and it is good that we take the church leaders into consultation. I'm sure these people will be able to help the government in the development. The churches are the face of the development there in those areas.
Meanwhile, Father Victor has appealed to the national government to ensure it fulfills its promise by releasing funds in areas of education and health.
Do not want that the government considers the churches only as people who are receiving funds for development. No, it is good you go one step higher and have them as partners in consultation.
Fabian Hakalitz, National MTV News.
2016 must be a year of repentance and forgiveness for Papua New Guinea. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands has extended an invitation to all citizens of this country in one heart to pray for the conversion of sins. Again, Fabian Hakalitz reports.
Pope Francis has declared 2016 as the year of mercy, and we are all asked to open our hearts and forgive others, and to work against social exclusion, even of those that may have caused bother or upset, a sign of true conversion of our heart. In his letter, therefore, as the holy door remains open, because it is the sign of welcoming God himself reserves for us, so also our doors, those of the heart, must always be open, not to exclude anyone. And this year, Papua New Guineans must focus on the boundless nature of God's mercy. Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands, General Secretary Father Victor Roch says,
2016 is the year of mercy. Pope Francis has declared as the year of mercy, and it's not only, I would say, not only for the Catholics, but also for the whole humankind, because he is called the Pope of mercy, Pope of compassion.
Father Victor said that the Church must become the living sign of God's love and mercy, with the Pontiff's call of mercy and forgiveness to be realized in daily life. It's the concrete sign of faith that has transformed our hearts and allows us to express in ourselves the same life of God.
Now at this time, we have to specially think of the downtrodden, the marginalized, the poor and the needy. In our own families, in our own communities, if there are some people who need our mercy, please show your compassion and mercy in a special way today.
Father Victor called on all Papua New Guineans to be united for change. Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
Lower and upper primary schools